What's going on, guys? It is the one and only Brandon L. Draper, better known as the Motivational King, coming to you live right now. I'm so excited. You know, I can't even sit down right now. Hey, guys, so we got an electrifying show. Tonight's show is about pioneering towards success. All right? We're going to talk about how people convince themselves, mentally, that something's okay, even though their heart has not fallen for it. It's not in love with it. Your heart is not in love with the idea, but you continue to try to make believe like you really enjoy that job you're on. You make believe like you like people where you really don't. You tolerate people. And you also allow people to tolerate you. We're going to talk about that, right? We're also going to talk about people just getting by. In my first book, Becoming Who You Should Be Despite Who You Are, the very first thing that I ever said is if you keep on with this concept that you're living life just to get by, I'm just getting by. I got a job, it's helping me get by. Everything is good, I'm just getting by. Eventually, life is going to get by you. So usually what I do is I do a quote of the day, but I kind of created my own. It's more than just a quote, it's a little longer, but I just want to get this off my chest a little bit. It says, people want success that they have not been groomed for. This is the same as a woman birthing a baby prematurely. The chances of survival are slim when the baby is not fully developed. The blessing has to face scrutiny too soon. Think about that. The baby has to face the elements of life too soon. Their lungs are not developed. What you got inside of you right now, if you birth it right now, is not strong enough. There's some things that have to take root. When you're trying to pioneer your way to success, you're doing things that you've never seen before. You come from a family where no one's ever been in business before. You are the pioneer. One thing you know about pioneers is that oftentimes they're found face down with arrows in their back because they are the first ones out. New undiscovered territory. New way of doing things. New technology to explore. New things to expand. And you coming from a family where you never seen business. And then there's people out there that want success that they have not been groomed for. You just think one day you wake up and the business falls in your lap. See, a problem that a lot of people have, I've kind of had this, and I had to, because a lot of time I wouldn't create material. And I wouldn't create material because I had to create material. I forgot when I first started, it wasn't about creating. I remember when people would come on my podcast, they would ask like, hey, do we need to practice? Practice for what? Everything's off the heart. I'm not creating content. I'm just documenting what I think, what I believe, some things that I've experienced, and how I can help you to not experience some of those pains. I've had some of the worst pains. I remember when I did I did this, I want to say it was a seminar that I did. And in this seminar, I literally took a picture of some underwear that I had. Now, I'm like, why would you take a picture? Well, my underwear, it had holes in it. I was going through a period in my life where I could not afford a decent pair of underwear, right? And to be where I'm at today, it speaks volumes. It may not mean anything to you. It speaks volumes to me because I knew where I came from. I knew exactly how low that I sunk in my adult life. I experienced things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. In the pursuit of a dream, I had to get groomed because a lot of the pains and struggles that I was going through wasn't even for me. Because I don't know who's listening to this. I don't know. It might be someone listening to this right now that's contemplating something that they shouldn't do. And I might be the last defense, the last line of defense to help them, to be able to say, you know what, you can elevate yourself. Even though you're around a group of people, even though you're starting to believe mentally that what you're about to do is the right thing, it's going to take care of everything. It's just a part of you, that heart part of you that says, you know what, it's not okay for me to cheat. It's not okay for me to lie. It's not okay for me to steal. I want to speak to that part. I don't want to speak to that part. I want to connect, because everyone communicates. Just about everything communicates in some form or fashion. It communicates for what it's used for. Animals communicate. We communicate. But not everyone connects through the communication. Sometimes a message can be conveyed, but not truly understood. There was no connection. And that's what I want to challenge you tonight on this call, on the Hump Day Motivation, to get you through the rest of the week, despite what you've been through last week, earlier this week, or what you're going to face the rest of this week. I want to inspire you to understand that you have to pioneer your way. You have to be a pathfinder. You have to go and create it. No one's going to give it to you. No one's coming to save you. I said it again. No one is coming to save you. I think a lot of us need to hear that, because I think we've convinced ourselves that someone is coming to help us out of the situation that we're in right now. And I'm here to tell you, no one's coming to help you except you. How you can help yourself? If you're in business, connecting with other people, getting the resources that you need. Doing something different. Being innovative. Be resilient. Keep on going. Just because things don't go your way the first time doesn't mean you just stop. You have to keep on going in the pursuit of your dream. And I think a lot of people, they miss out on that because they talk themselves into mental bondage. I know I'm talking to somebody. Mental bondage, because it feels better. Listen to me. It feels better for you as an individual to fit in, to be like everyone else. You don't want the extra. You don't want people to talk to you and make you feel less just because you are thinking about something greater. You are special because you having a special type of thinking within you, and then people around you, they don't understand that. I know it's hard when you're going through that transition. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to talk about a couple of things. When it comes, let me get this straight, guys. Like I said, I don't create. I don't create. I just document. You know? Because I think sometimes it's a matter of us being ourselves, our true self. So what you're hearing from me right now is me. The true side of me, not no made up, not something that I scripted. It is all me. And I want you to connect with that. I'm trying not to make too much noise. I'm moving around. You guys got to forgive me. Like I said, I took some little bit of notes that I can have something to be able to talk. And I don't want you guys to miss what I'm about to put out, right? I won't allow that to happen tonight. So we're talking about being a pioneer, pioneering your way to success, doing and believing in things that you have not seen before. It's hard to do something or be something that you have not ever in your life seen, right? So there's all types of definition. But if you look at it, an entrepreneur in itself is a pioneer. Usually these are people that innovate new products, new services, new processes, different types of ways of doing things that makes it more efficient and effective. They're able to open new markets, right? Things that we've never seen before. You think about Uber, we think about Airbnb. These are whole new markets, new verticals on how to provide transportation and lodging for people when they travel. This is totally something new during our time that we would have never imagined, opening our house to complete strangers. We would have never, understood the concept of riding in a stranger's car to get from point A to point B. We had a system in place, and that was a taxi service. We had a system in place where that was the hotel. We were so familiar with that. But we had some pioneers. We had some engineers. We had some people that decided that they were going to come out and do some special things. And they wanted to be innovative. They wanted to bring something new to the market. And I want to challenge you. If you're at the sound of my voice right now, I'm challenging you to be a pioneer. To take all those negative thoughts that people told you in your mind and tell you that you can't do it, that you're never worthy. I'm telling you, you are enough. You are enough. That's it. You are worthy of whatever great things that you want for you. I want you to start dreaming. And I'm not just talking about some BS whimsical. I want you to close your eyes and count to 5. When you open your eyes, all your problems are gone away. I'm telling you, that's not a fact. Life doesn't work that way. And I don't believe in just getting people excited just for a brief moment. And then, after they get off the podcast or after they hear my talk, they go home and life slaps them right in the face. Or what they would say, they right in the kisser. It hits you in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now you still got to continue on. You still got to do things for other people. You still got to continue life. But at the same time, look at what's happening. Look at all the different things that's happening in your life. And I'm here to tell you, it's a big difference when you're going through that. It's a big difference on how you're going to get through the pain, the trials, and the tribulations when you start believing what everyone else is saying about you. Right? We can sit all day and talk about what an entrepreneur, what a business owner is. We can talk all day about what everything else is. But the one thing that we're going to talk about, not just about business, not just about leadership, not just about wishing and wanting and desires going to fall in your lap. I'm not a motivational speaker. And I'm not one of these guys selling a program based on let me get you pumped up and then the bill comes in and all your positivity is gone. It has to be bigger than that. I want to connect with you so you can understand that I've been where you're at. I've gone through some of the things that you may encounter or have encountered. I'm not saying my story is worse than yours. Your story is better than this person's story. We all have a story. And that story that we live or we currently going through right now, and our perspective, whatever bad things we're facing, in our perspective, is the worst thing that can happen. It may not feel, another person hear about that, they don't feel the same way because they don't have your perspective. They have not come from where you come from. So you understand, see, and feel things a little differently. But it's weird to me that's that type of disconnect that we have, but yet we value other people's opinion over our own. Different perspective, different way of believing, haven't had none of your experiences the way you've experienced them, yet you allow their opinion of a situation to yield weight in your life. Interesting. All right. I don't want to beat nobody up tonight. I don't want to beat nobody up, but we got to dive deep into this, right? So pioneering your success. Now we got to get to the meat of this, right? Because a lot of people, they always ask, people talking and they say, and I'll be like, well, how do you do it? So I'm going to talk about some of the what you do. What do you have to do in order to be successful? What exactly does that look like? We're going to talk a little bit about that. But real quick, before we dive into that, because when we get into that, we're going to go straight on through. We're not going to take any breaks. So I want to go ahead and allow you guys, if you already haven't, go ahead and get you a notebook, pen, paper, whatever it is that you need, some water or whatever, use the bathroom, whatever. Take this time to go ahead and prepare for that, because if you're trying to take your business to the next level, you're trying to take your life to the next level, you're going to need to tune in. And for those that just now tuning in, we're getting ready to talk about pioneering towards success. What it's going to take to get your life to the next level. And when we talk, we're going to talk about business and we're going to talk about life, because a lot of these things are interchangeable. You got a bad business, most likely you got a bad personal life. Your personal life feeds into your business and your business life feeds into your personal. That's just what it is. So when we come back from this quick commercial break, we're going to dive into that. I hope you guys are ready. and prepared for what we're getting ready to talk about. This is not something that, you just want to just listen to. You might want to take some notes on this if you can. If you're in a position to take some notes, because this is going to be some life-changing information. And real quick, please share this. If you have a way to share this with someone that needs it. All right. Share this with another business owner. Don't be stingy with information when someone's about to put out something that's going to change. And I don't ever say, I've been doing this for a while. I don't ever say I'm going to put something out and it's weak sauce. This is going to be some intense stuff that you can take. I don't have a whole lot of time to dive into it, but I'm going to dive into it enough where you're going to get some meat. You're going to feel satisfied when we get off this call today. All right. When we get off this podcast, you're going to feel satisfied with what we're talking about. All right, so real quick, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Close your eyes and take a walk with me. Open your mind. Use your heart to see. Let go and relax as if drifting down a stream. I'd like to introduce you to the Lotus Love Suite. Here, my heart's desires manifest and come to life. Here, love has a home, and even when it's wrong, it's still right. Happiness levels reach heights unparalleled, but below awaits my own personal hell. My darkest fears may follow, but only for the night. For the lotus must push through the dark mud, for its beauty to be seen by the light. This is the Lotus Love Suite, a poetic love story by Ashley A.T. Available now on Amazon and at www.ashley-at.com.
Woo! And we are back. And if you're just now joining us, we are getting ready to dive into the topic of power of pioneering your way to success. All right. How do you pioneer towards success? all the things that you've been through, trials and tribulations, you stop believing in yourself, right? Because life is beating you up a little bit. See, the thing about life is like this, and I described it in my first book. I said life is like a championship match. You got two contenders in the ring. You got this heavyweight contender called life, and then you. When you're young, you're agile, you're real flexible, you're hitting, you're going back and forth with life, but then some things happen, right? You didn't get accepted in the school you wanted to, or you wanted to go to college but your parents couldn't afford it, all right? You didn't get the job or the career you wanted. You wanted what you consider to be a dead-end job, right? Different things happen, so life starts beating you up. You had children earlier than you anticipated. Someone passed away that you're real close to. Family, mother, father starts getting sick. You got to take care of them. All these things start hitting you. And guess what? Now you start seeing you have less and less time, right? And time is everything. Time is your most valuable asset. It starts nicking away at your time. And what happens is you start seeing where less time means less time for you to do the things that you want to do, and more time towards making sure everyone else is right, making sure everyone is okay, making sure everyone is fine. And you have to take care of all that stuff, so you never have time for you. I think that's why when you find people, towards the latter parts of their life, the kids are gone, all these things are gone, parents might be deceased at this point, and now they feel like they're more at ease, right? Because now they don't have so much pulling at them. You start, I want to pick up art, or I want to pick up dancing. These are things that they wanted to do for years, but they had to tuck it away. They had to put it to the side, right? And we're going to talk about that, but we're going to dive super, super, super deep, because there's so many people that need this information. So there's some things about if you're trying to really reach success in business or in life, the first things first, you have to get organized. All right. To be successful in business, you got to be organized. Organizations will help you to complete your task if everyone knows their task and everything is organized and it makes sense, right? You have to make sure that you have SOPs, standard operating procedures. Know that if you're out, see, this is the key thing why you want to be organized, because number one, it sets the foundation for your business. That's number one. It sets the foundation for your business. Think about it. If you get sick and you cannot work for 60, 90 days, right? You have a service-based business, right? You have not trained anyone else. And you can't train anyone because you don't have any SOPs. You're not organized. No one can just come in and step in and do what you do or understand the business in a short period of time, because you got it all tied up to you and you're the only person. That's why it's so critical to get organized. Now, for those that have not even started a business, the importance of you getting organized is because guess what? You got the first start, and to start the process, you got to get organized to know what documentation you need. What do you need to incorporate your business? What do you need to get a bank account, right? How hard is that? How much money does it cost, right? Is it really as complicated as you probably think it is for those that haven't done it, right? Because to me, it's easy. To a lot of people, it's easy because they've done it. We've done it a bunch of times, right? So it's easy, but you can't say it is easy because there's people that have not done it yet. So for those that have not done it, I'm telling you, the process is not as hard as you think. Get organized, get the documents you need in order, and then now you have a foundation, right? Now you start your business off right, because now you have all the documentation you need. Everything's in order. All your taxes, all the stuff is together. Now you can get focused on the focus, which is getting to the fundamentals of what it's going to need for that business to grow. How are you going to make profits? How are you going to make money? How are you going to make that business self-sustaining? Those are the things you can focus on once you get past the getting organized portion of it, right? Second thing, right? In your life and in business, you got to keep detailed records. What's going on, right? And the reason, you think about it for a minute. If you have, let's just say, some type of pain somewhere in your body, right? I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to identify any particular parts of the body and say that you should wait a period of time. But let's just say you have a pain. You don't see it as being critical, but, now it's going on a couple of weeks. You've had this pain, right? Now you decide to go to the doctor. You've documented what's been going on, how that pain, was it because you were moving? What activities were you doing? Because you documented, what activities I was doing when I felt this pain. Was I doing anything, or did this pain just come on to me, right? These are documenting, keeping records, right? Keeping records in your business, making sure that, for instance, I'll give you an example. So I know a lot of companies where they don't necessarily keep the best detailed records. And a lot of companies, they have what we call independent contractors, right? So these people, you paying them, you're cutting them checks, but you're not keeping up with how much money that you're putting out. Then the IRS is to assume that you still have that money and you're going to be taxed on that money, not that that money is going out to pay someone's payroll and now they need to pay the appropriate taxes. So that's the importance, just really, really quick, of keeping detailed records, right? The same thing in your personal life. So you have people that, they have amassed some wealth in their life, right? And they do not keep the record of having a will, an updated will. In the event that something happens to them, all their wishes is carried out. So I'm no longer licensed as an insurance agent. All right. I'm not an attorney, but what I will say on this, not offering any legal or financial advice, is that, maybe look at the laws and see what happens. In some states, if a person doesn't have a will, right, it automatically goes to probate, right? Now, that's separate from the insurance, because insurance is a beneficiary. That's one thing. But what about all the other assets that is part of that estate, right? And you don't have records, right? I'm just saying, right? Second thing, I have one friend in particular, and I don't want to put him out there, but this one of my friends, his biggest issue is competition. Let me tell you something. You better know what your competition is doing on both sides of the scale. In your personal life, we don't call them competition. We call them haters. We call them haters, right? And I got something I want to share with you about that, but that's what they are called haters, right? And haters, all it stands for, haters is having anger towards everyone reaching success. That's what a hater is. Having anger towards everyone reaching success. Go and write that down, because that's what a hater is. So in our personal life, we have haters. In the business life, we have competition, right? And you better know what your competition is doing. So for me, for instance, I'm in the publishing industry. So there's everybody and their grandmother want to be a publisher. Don't know the first thing about publishing, but they got an address and they got access to Google. So they create a profile, don't have a website, don't have nothing, but they're a publisher. They're taking up space, preventing people that are really in the business from getting to potential clients, right? So I have to know that. So I know who are real contenders and I know who are duds that's in the field. And I know that if I'm approached with something from this entity, I may not want to take it serious because they are a dud based on their track record and things that they have done, right? And it's the same thing in business, in your business, right? You have to know what your competition is doing. What does it take for you to be number one? What information do you need? A lot of people refer to it. I'm not going to even say that. I'm going to say a lot of people. It's me, guys. I'm the one that's saying this stuff. I believe in corporate espionage. I'm sorry. I need to know what my competition is doing, right? I need to know how you're moving, right? And you'll be smart to know that too. And everyone does it. All these big companies, they're tracking, one company puts on a sale, then they got a sale going on, similar or maybe a couple of % less or whatever. Whatever the case be, is always a back and forth because they know that that's their competition, and whatever their competition is doing, they want to make it as equal as if, well, you can go there because they got it. But guess what? You also come to your regular store you come to because we got the same 15, 20% here too, right? So my customer that I have is not going to go away from me to go there because it's going to say 15, 20%. No, because I got 15, 20% too. So I'm not going to give my client a reason to go to my competition. This is when you start studying the field. The same thing in life. Don't give people ammunition for stuff. I wrote in a book, Becoming Who You Should Be Despite Who You Are. I said, I was really talking about how cement, when you're laying cement in the wintertime, you have to mix it with calcium, and that kind of like allows it to dry quicker because calcium causes reaction and makes it dry quicker and heats up. So, right? And so it heats up with the chemicals in there. So it heats it up. But if you put too much calcium in there, it's heating up too quickly, and therefore the cement is going to crack. Right? So you already know that. So you're careful on how much calcium. You got to make sure you're putting the right mixture inside the bucket when you're mixing the cement up so that it does not, dry too quickly and crack. So how do we apply that in real life with people? You cannot give people too much ammunition. You can't give them too much heat about you that when it comes time for things to air out, and you start cracking, right? So you got to put a lot of stuff out yourself. You take the power away from people when you can put stuff out yourself. So when people start saying things, they sound like a parrot, like a parakeet or something, because now they're only repeating what you've already said, right? If you say, hey, I got a shortcoming in X, Y, Z, you make that known, but you're constantly working on that. And then because someone's in their feelings, a hater is in their feelings, they don't want to see you win, right? And they start saying some ill stuff about you, right? Because they're having anger towards everyone reaching success that they just don't like you, right? But because you put yourself in a good place and they start talking about you, guess what happened? It doesn't matter what they're saying because you've already said it. So they're just repeating themselves. They're like a repeater. No one cares for a repeater, right? What you don't want to do is empower people to have information on you that's brand new, that no one knows about. And then now you're clearing the air about it after the fact that they put it out there. That's the problem. So understand your competition, and because your competition will definitely understand and try to figure you out. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is understanding risk versus reward. So a lot of people, they don't take the risk because they don't know the reward at the other side of it. Now, a lot of that has nothing to do with it being business. It has everything to do with what kind of business or the belief in certain things, because people take risks all day. A drug dealer understands the risk that he or she takes that may get them a long time, a lot of years in prison, but the reward to them outweighs that. Now, I may say that's bad psychology there. I don't agree with that. 30 years for $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. To me, it's nowhere worth it. There's no amount of money that's worth my freedom. So those numbers don't make sense to me and never will. But to some people, they take those chances because to them, the rewards mean. So my biggest thing here on this point is making sure you understand how to read risk and reward. There's certain risks you do not want to take because it's too risque, right? You know what I'm saying? It would if it does not work in your favor, it would hurt you more. So, but how you read those things is putting yourself in position. Everyone always asking, what's the definition of success? Everyone say there's a bunch of definitions. Oh, bull. There's only one definition of success, right? It's simple, because if you put in these terms here, you can put anything in this equation, right? It's when preparation meets opportunity. Opportunity for whatever it is you want to do, right? But when you prepare yourself, because you're like an architect. Because a lot of people, they want to hope. A lot of people ride on hope. This election's coming up. Everybody's be talking about hope and inspiration. I don't care nothing about hope. Hope doesn't pay bills, right? Hope marketing does not market your business. Hope is nothing, right? It is something. I'm not going to say it's nothing, but in the big scheme of things, just sitting somewhere hoping, right? You hope once you've done something, right? You haven't done anything and you're just hoping. You're crazy, right? Hope does not work. An architect doesn't hope a building gets erected. He has a plan, right? He has a blueprint, a map, a drawing, a configuration of how this structure is going to look. And based upon that plan, that blueprint that an architect has, he or she follows that blueprint and they're able to erect that building with various materials and various resources and people to make that happen. The same thing applies in your life. There's certain things that you have to do in order to get a certain set of results, right? So if you're in business and you're sitting here, doing a Facebook post and not boosting it, not marketing it, but somehow you're expecting to get sales from people that already know you. 9 times out of 10, the people that directly follow you are not going to buy anything from you. And it's okay. That's okay. right? But once you understand that that's not as important as you think it is, that's when things start to shift in your life, because now you understand the risk versus rewards. Understanding that there's certain calculated risks that you can take, and by taking those risks, you're going to stand in a lot better situation later on down the road. But it has to make sense, and that comes from your preparation, you putting resources to the side, you building, you got capital, you've been educating yourself to know how to effectively run your business. You're plugging into podcasts like this, you're taking notes. Now you're building, and now you're saying you're getting ready to get serious, because everything that I'm talking about is the stuff that I live, that I had to do in order to make it. Because when I wasn't doing it, everything sucked. And that's the bottom line. It freaking sucked, right? And I can't make this up, right? So either you can not listen to this and do it yourself and feel all the pain that I had, right? Feeling like a nobody. It freaking hurt. It hurt real bad, guys, and I cannot make that up. It hurt. And I don't want anyone to experience that. So when I take this hour of power and try to pour into you and tell you these things, it's not just because I want to sound smart. No, because these are all the ingredients. These are some of the ingredients you need to be able to be successful in business, to be successful in life. It's like a cake, baby. Check this out. You can make the baddest cake there is with the best ingredients. You can have some spice flown from Peru. You can have all this most expensive, decadent stuff inside this cake, but you forget one ingredient, that's the egg. I guarantee your cake's not gonna come out the way you anticipated. And it's not gonna be as good. Just because you left out one critical aspect. Right? So understanding the risk versus reward, and stop tricking yourself that everything's so risky, it's not worth you getting into. Right? It's not a matter of risk, it's a matter of your laziness. Right? It looks like too much work and you don't want to risk doing work. That's a different type of risk, guys. Listen to me. That's a different type of risk. I'm not talking about the risk of you having to do work. You got to do work if you expect to have anything. If it's worth having, it's worth working for. So don't get yourself in that mindset where you think, I don't want to risk doing work. You're going to have to do work. Someone's trying to sell you a program or sell you a talk that's talking about you absolutely doing nothing and getting something. You just invested your money in the wrong program. You're going to have to put in work. Right? And I like to get people that's not willing to work away from me. Because the only thing you're going to do is whine about why things ain't working out for you. It's not working out for you because you're not willing to work. Craziest thing how I see entrepreneurs out here that refuse to work. You got to go out there and cultivate the land. Right? You got to go out in the field and work. When you was working at 9 to 5, those people told you, be here at 9. And for those that salary, they tell you, be here at 9. You get off at 5. But if we got a big project, you may be leaving 11. So I know people that are working salary positions and working 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Right? I'm not saying that there's something wrong with that. But there's something wrong with that. That's not, something's wrong with that for me. Right? Because somebody may like that and that may be cool. I just wanted more. And I think if you're listening to this, you want more than just a job. You want to have financial freedom, whatever that means to you, right? It might be mean going on vacations, being able to get the car you want, living in the house you want, getting land, being able to go on vacation, being able to hunt all the time, whatever that is, be able to get expensive cars, fix up project cars, do the things, artwork, whatever it is you want to do, whatever that financial freedom is to you, whatever that is. I think everyone wants that. Now, we trick ourselves mentally to believe that we don't want that based on one simple premise. Because if we say we want that and we feel like we can't get it, then we feel like a loser. And no one wants to feel like a loser. So what do? We lie to ourselves even though our heart is not in love with the idea. Someone is understanding what I'm saying, right? The next thing is got to be creative, right? You can't just be a run of the mill, right? Think about it. If you're trying to get a new career, right? You got to be creative. Now, I just recently seen a I think it was it was Instagram. So Tyler Perry aired this young lady out on Instagram. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but she took a creative way to get his attention. And he didn't necessarily see it that way, but I think it took a lot of courage. But at the end, she did what she did. And she had this, her name is Rachel Bailey. And she had a billboard that said, "Attention, Mr. Perry. Rachel Bailey is your next leading lady." And he had some words for her on this, about doing this. And I'm going to read a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole thing, right? I'm just going to read this basic part. It says, Tyler Perry responded, so here's the deal. This is not the way to get my attention. If you are looking for a role in one of my shows, please do not do this. Save your money. This is the third time that someone has done this. Please stop. To audition is free. I'm sure you can use the money for a better purpose, right? Now, 139,000 people have liked this, right? Have liked it. I don't know how many people have seen it, but have liked it, 139,000. So if attention was what she was going after, now, and Tyler Perry later on, and I'm just going to paraphrase this, later on in the post, he does mention that she was in another movie and that he's seen her before, so it was nothing new. So he knows about her, right? At the end of the day, he took the time to give attention to the issue. She got the attention that she wanted. And even if she doesn't get with Tyler Perry, guess what? Because of her creativity, someone is going to pick her up, because it took a lot for her to do that, right? So being creative, always be looking for ways to improve your business and improve your life, right? Be creative. What new thing can you add to your personality in your regular life? Can you take up some dancing lessons? Be different. Stop just being in this mundane, I'm just working and I'm just taking care. Cause oh my God, some of y'all can get mad and go in the comments and beef all you want, but we're going to be real, right? So a lot of people like to pawn things off on other people, other things, and other situations on why they can't do it. Now, this may sound kind of cold, and maybe this is, stuff from my military days was kind of different, but, I always used to hear things like, people are rushing to do certain things, like, and they were like, are they dead or are they alive? And they're like, well, they're dead, so you're rushing to do what? There's nothing you can do at this point. And I thought that was so heartless and cold when they said that, but you think about it, oftentimes people looking for an excuse to get out of something. And any excuses, mom was to say, is better than none. Now, someone, a loved one dying, you're going through a situation, so that might be a little bit excessive, but you think about it for a minute, the excuses that we give. So one of the excuses that I hear, for my parents that come and tell me, well, I really want to do this. I've been working on this for a while. I got these kids and everything's really taking up my time. And oh my God, I just really can't get in that creative flow and this, that, and the third. And I always say, to them, I always tell them, because I don't want to cause a confrontation. I was like, have you read the book? And, most likely they didn't. And I would just say, hey, look, go to this chat, go read this and come, let's have a conversation. And one of the things I wrote, I said, don't tell me that you're not living out to your true potential because you got kids, or that your children slowed you down and all that stuff. Well, I'm taking care of my kids. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Do you want a cookie or a trophy? Those are your children. You brought them here. Boom. Right? So the second part of that is you go out in the woods, you sit down quiet enough, you'll see some squirrels in the tree, and you see some big squirrels, you see some little baby squirrels, and you see the big squirrels going to take some nuts up to the little baby squirrels. That's called nature. That's what we're instinctively, and our genetic code for us to do is to take care of our family. But don't pawn off why you are not successful or why you're not doing certain things because you're taking care of your children. The reason that you should be doing it, the reason why you should be going hard, the reason why you should be losing sleep is to show them through hard work, a strong work ethic and dedication and a belief in yourself that you can make it, that you can do it. Now you are affirming to them their belief that guess what? When you say you could do anything that you want to do, they honestly believe you because they seen mommy do it. They seen daddy do it. That's what makes the difference. See, that is what makes the difference, is when you are willing to go all in and stop pawning things off on other people and other situations. When you say, I'm going to take full responsibility. I had the children, so how do I figure out how to go back to school? How do I figure out how to start a business? How do I get this training that I need to get the certification to get this new career? What do I need to do in order to get that? Once you do that, the brain starts working, your mind starts working, and you start moving closer to a conclusion, a possible solution to your problem. Maybe you might solicit the advice of someone else, but your gears, but once you say, hey, this is my situation, I'm taking care of my kids, I just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. You shut down. Right? You're not even talking to family, seeing what your family might be willing to do to help you with this. You just shut down because honestly, you don't want to ask for certain things because you're afraid maybe you might get your feelings hurt. And the second part of it, the most biggest part of it, it looks like freaking work. All right, next thing we're going to talk about, stay focused, right? The old saying talks about Rome wasn't built in a day. That's real, right? As magnificent as it was in the day, Rome was not built in a day. You can see it. You could have seen it and it's been, oh my God, but it did not happen overnight, right? You go to our capital, that didn't happen overnight. It was a long time, right? But you have to stay focused. Just because you open a business doesn't mean you're going to immediately start making money. I think that's the biggest misconception, right? Now, I believe that you should make money. But that all goes back to the beginning of the planning phase, the foundation. That's what I talk about consistently all through my stuff. Those that want to write, want to be an author, first thing I always tell people on, get my book brainstorming outline, because it sets the precedence for everything. It's the foundation for your success. So I feel like that's something you should not skip, period. You got to get that if you want to start off strong, because starting off weak, you go through all these things. You don't have to, because now you're able to get the information. Why struggle when you can just get it and do it? That workbook is set up in a way that's going to allow you, now check this out, it's going to allow you to be able to start, answer some questions, start compiling some ideas together, and then you do an activity. So what I would do, let's just say you're a person that's limited on time. What I would do is simply, when I get home, I might dedicate maybe 30 minutes. Everyone got 30 minutes. Man, you go to the bathroom, you're about in there for 30 minutes. When you get older, stuff starts moving a little slower, right? So that's just what it is, guys. Hey, I'm getting older, so that's just real. So you got a little bit of time. You're in the bathroom, you're brushing your teeth. It only takes one hand to brush your teeth. Right? You can be having a book in your hand, you can have a phone, you can be reading something, or you can be listening to something. So it's all types of things that you can do, right? So it takes time to let people know who you are. So you got to just stay focused, right? You got to stay focused. Money may not be coming in, but if you set it up the right way, it can be. But nothing's guaranteed. I don't like to tell anyone there's no guarantee. The best thing to do is plan, and then once you finish do that, you got to plan some more, because that's the biggest thing, is planning. What are going to be my profit centers? How are we going to make money? What's the quickest way for us to make money? Okay, so we need to make sure that we're frontlining this, right? And we stay focused on that, because we know that low-hanging fruit is what's going to be able to allow our business to stay afloat. So that could be a ribbon or something, whatever, a sock, a unique sock that everyone's into, but that sock selling for $5 a pop is what's going to keep the lights on, it's going to keep the rent paid. So let's push the sock. But once we get them in, because of the stocks, then there's a potential for an upsell. We can sell them on other things, but let's stay focused on the fundamentals and sell socks, right? That's how important focus is when it comes to business. And then in the real life, it's like, hey, if you read the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, he talks about drifting, and basically in this dialogue that they have, they talk about this thing called drifting. And it basically, the devil is saying, hey, if I could get someone to drift off of something, I can control them. I can control them with fear, right? That they're going to drift away because they are afraid of something happening. They're afraid they might be homeless because they're going after this goal. They're working. No one in their family's ever done this before. They've never seen someone run a business. Now they're the first one to do it, and everyone's scrutinizing them, telling them how stupid they are. Why would they leave their job to do this? Oh my God, where you even have benefits? Oh my God, you don't have benefits. Don't be calling me, asking me for money. See, that's the worst thing about being an entrepreneur and be a struggling entrepreneur, be a struggling business owner, because when you got to call friends and family and say, hey, look, I'm short. It's like, yep. I don't know why you won't get a job. Like everybody else, why don't you just get a job? All right? You keep calling me and asking me. I got a job. You see, I keep money. All right? You don't have money over there with that business stuff you're talking about. And they talk you out of that. I don't know how many conversations I had like that when I was going through my transition and going through my awakening. And I'm going to tell you, I'm glad I did, because number one, it taught me who really had my back. And let me tell you something. Certain conversations, man, I don't care what happens, you just don't forget. Because there's certain lines, certain things people shouldn't say and they shouldn't do. And once those things are, happens, you just, right? That's just me. I'm there. I'm not, and I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm just being my sincere self there. Hey, I'm not there yet. I'm 34 years old, right? I'm not there yet. I don't have that. Maybe you call that, emotional IQ. I don't have the emotional maturity yet, where I can, let certain things go. Like certain things, I just believe that there's a line. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm going to stand on that for right now. Maybe someone can, say something about that. But hey, it's a conversation piece. How that, and I don't want to go off on that, but that's another podcast right there. That's another show. All right. So we got two more. We got to go through, three more. I'm gonna make three, maybe four. All right. Prepare to make sacrifices. You have to be willing to make sacrifices, right? You think about it. You make sacrifices every day. People don't believe this. If you walked up a flight of stairs, you're making a sacrifice. Whoa, man. What in the world are you talking about, dummy? And I was about to say that, like, what in the world are you talking about? In order for you to move up or down the stairs, you have to sacrifice picking up your foot off of one solid piece of material, have it suspended in the air to go to another piece of material, hard material, that's going to allow you to rise in elevation, right? So you had to believe that there was ground. Either you looked at it or you just believe that you're walking up, because most people don't look at their feet when they're walking. They walking up the stairs. Their feet automatically knows what to do, right? Right? You're making a sacrifice because you have a belief that because you're looking, the stairs are there. You believe everything's together so you can continue to progress upstairs. It's the same thing in life. You have to make sacrifices, right? You have to let go of things of lesser value in order to get things of greater value. You have to let them go, right? Meaning sometimes you may have to lose out on sleep right now. You have to lose out on having fun right now, partying with your friends right now, because in the next 20, 30 years, you don't want the life that they have, right? Drinking and having and partying and all that stuff, that's what they're into, right? Because they're planning on working at XYZ company for 25, 30 years, right? And get their little gold watch and a little plaque on the wall and a little pension at the end of the month that they have to live on, right? Hopefully they got everything paid off by that time, right? So they have a different agenda. So your agenda has to be different, right? So you have to prepare to make sacrifices. You might lose sleep. You may lose friends. You may lose family. You may lose a lot. You may lose everything you have in pursuit of a dream, right? You may become homeless. You may lose your car. Your car might get repoed, right? These are things that I live, man. I remember being feeling like I'm sleeping on freaking tax because I hear anything. I mean, there's an old saying like hearing a mouse pee on a cotton ball, you can hear it, right? I mean, my ears was in tune. If I heard any noise, I want to look, because is that the tow truck? Because I was in debt, bro. I'm telling you, man, I was in debt. I was in trouble, right? And no one's seen a way for me out except me. I had a vision. I believed that I could do it, and I need you to believe that you can do it, right? I believed that I was going to make it. But other people didn't, and they showed me that. And I needed to see that because guess what? But when the time came and I rose out of the ashes like a falcon, guess what? There was a lot of people that wasn't around me, right? The same energy you had back then, same energy I need you to have right now. You talk about me behind my back then, keep on talking. Well, I wasn't talking to you then, and we're not going to be talking now. You know, and there are a lot of people out there, and I know somebody's out there like, yeah, you're right. You better not be hitting me up on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, I remember when I said I was going to do this and you didn't believe me. Yeah, block they behind. What you hitting me up for now? I don't want to talk to you. I don't even think about you, but you obviously thinking about me. A lot of people thinking about you because they are haters. They are bona fide, certified haters. And you remember what we said about haters, right? Haters are people that are having anger towards everybody reaching success. They're not having success, so they're just hating on you, right? Next thing is provide great customer service, man. Good service, good product. Be on time. You know, if you got events, be on time in your events. If you start having an event online, do things the right way. Treat people the way you would like to be treated. Go above and beyond. I remember there was some situations, people call me and I always ask, like, hey, how should I handle this? And I'm just real good at de-escalating issues. And I always go back to the old way things used to be done. And back in the day, it was simple. The customer is always right. And nowadays, like, oh, no, that's not true. The customer is always right, right? Because I don't want to have a bad interaction with someone when whatever problem they have, they want their money back. You know, I had in the contract that says, you know, there's no refunds after this date. You went after that date. But since it means that much to you, here you go. Because I don't want to have bad energy between someone. Even though it's in black and white and legally binding, I believe just let it go. The customer is always right. Right? Now, that might be a person I may never do business with again. Or maybe they want to do business with me again because of how I treated them. The customer is always right. Have great service in your business. And be the same way in regular life. Outside of the career, outside of business. Be a person where, you know, even if you leave a situation, right, you left relationships in a way where people are always welcoming you. That there's always a hug waiting for you on the other side of a door. Right? That no matter where you may find yourself in life, that you could be walking into what you may seem as a blind situation, right? You walk in the door and you start seeing familiar faces of people you've done right over the years, and you already know just stepping in the room that whatever it is that you're going for, you already got. Last but not least, man, you have to be consistent. That's the biggest thing, right? And when I say consistent, I want to take it to another level and say frequency. Right? Everything's about consistency. When it's consistent, that's speaking about frequency. So if you want to be a lot of people, they want to be quote unquote, because there's like this uprising of people wanting to be a motivational speaker or what have you. So, you know, there's a big uprising on that. So sometimes we got to check that. We all know what that sound is. We getting ready to wrap up. So that's why I'm going to end that right there, is that you got to be consistent. We got less than like 2 minutes up here. You have to be consistent. You have to go after it. All right. No one's going to give it to you, right? No one's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. No one's going to dig you up. You have to be willing to go out and make the sacrifices that you need, right? You're going to have to be the pioneer. Even though you have never, ever seen it before, you have to go out and make it happen for yourself. Do not give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't allow yourself to be shortcut. Don't do it. Go out and make it happen. Hey guys, it's been great. I love you. I hope that this message inspired you, take you to new heights. Please tune into us every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Next week, we're going to be doing some live shows, so please tune in, share our message, allow people to get on, follow us on YouTube at Pinnacle Point Publishing, all our social media platforms. I put out nothing but positive energy, uplifting. If you got a question, please send it my way at Brandon@selfpublishcentral.com. Hey guys, I love you, and I'll talk to you later.